Hey everyone, welcome. Diamonds are forever. It's a big event here at Paint Valley. We're going to celebrate the history of Paint Valley baseball and softball. A lot of effort has gone on to this. I know I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much to the boosters and all the community members that have played a role in this. I know there's a lot of you that really wanted to be here today that could not, so what we've decided to do is try to bring it to you. I know we have people traveling all over the state, some out of state. We even have some of our former Bearcats serving our country around the world. So hopefully what we can do here is bring a little piece of home. Thank you for your service. Bring a little piece of home to you so you can still be a part of it. So we're just going to take you through here and show you a little bit what we have on display today. I think you'll really enjoy it. So as you come on in here, grab some different sign-ins. The boosters have some gifts for our baseball and softball players. You'll see an opportunity to take pictures. We'll highlight a lot of our great teams, maybe with family members who played in the program together. All sorts of neat opportunity. We've got some old uniforms here. We're going to look for some donations, but hopefully have people leave with a lot of different uniforms, baseball, softball, as you see down through the years. Have some really nice things I think some kids and adults will enjoy having. So if we come over this way, the way this works, outside back alley barbecue, who doesn't like to eat a little bit, right? They're going to give us an opportunity to have some food and drinks throughout the day. And then the idea of the event is just to have an opportunity to study and enjoy some of the history throughout our softball and baseball program. So the way this works is the softball will be on this side when people start to come in here in about a half hour, and baseball will be on the other end. So as the camera shows you, 1988 was our first year of softball here at Paint Valley. So as you simply walk down the timeline, we just try to highlight each and every team. We believe we have a team photo for every single team in the history of the school. Whenever we had a trophy or whenever we had a piece of uniform or something that someone had brought in, we try to display that there on the timeline. So it allows you to enjoy the history of the softball program all the way through. So as you see some of the uniforms here, we come on down here. Obviously, one of the biggest things in softball history is the outstanding run to the Final Four here in 2014. We highlight team photos. We highlight every softball and baseball player who was All-Ohio. So, for example, here's Aaron Riley, the 2014 honorable mention Ohio. We have those on the tables all over for softball and baseball. As we come here, this continues the 2014 run. As you see here, the regional champion trophy, and then you'll come on down. Certain players that could not be here today, for example, here's the great Michaela Newland. We have a video of her 1,000th strikeout. As you see right here, as we take a look, we just happened to catch the video at the right time. Obviously, she was outstanding. 1,000 career strikeouts, and she puts a little video on there. We have various people that have reached out to do that could not be here today, so thank you, Michaela. As we come down through, that takes you to some different years as we go through. Again, we got another All-Ohio player here. Here's Olivia Smith. And again, you'll see those throughout the entire day as you walk through the timeline. Then some uniforms here. Softball coach Jason Stauffer, obviously legend on the baseball side of things through his playing days, now doing an outstanding job in the softball program. They've got a team that is really starting to grow from years past. They're going to be really, really improved this spring. So if you get a chance to follow them, I think you'll really, really enjoy that. Shout out to a lot of people putting some great effort and detail into this. As you can see, the seams of the baseball there on our round tables. People enjoy a little bit of that back alley barbecue that we talked about. If we come over this way, now throughout the day we'll also have music, we'll have interviews that we hope to get different clips of as we talk to some different people. Former players, maybe former media people that have covered the team. As you come up to this side, Paint Valley baseball started in 1959. Unfortunately, that is the only team photo that we could not find, but we still wanted to highlight that on our research, 1959 is believed to be the first team. So then the same way as softball, as you walk down through here, year by year we have a team photo, any trophies that we can find from the case. And what's nice about some of these is they have the names underneath. So it was nice to be able to go back and recognize some of the rosters and who played on what teams, what year. As you move all the way down through here, get into the 70s. Here's some outstanding teams. The great Jeff Zickafoose here, All Ohio, 1979, first team. You can see from some of the game balls there, he was outstanding, played on some really, really good teams. Now we move into the decade of the 80s. The yearbook coverage really started to improve, so we were able to get more and more pictures. So that was really helpful, and that was really fun to research. As we snake our way through the timeline, as they come off of this, they'll go right to the next year, and you'll see here. Mid-80s, really, really good baseball teams here at Paint Valley. Kerry Scott's an All-Ohio player. I know a teammate of his, you have Joe Cowman right here, 87, so they overlapped and played together a little bit. Really good teams. As you can see, this 87 team, fourth in the state, was 20-8. Outstanding. So they go down through here. And then obviously as we get into the early 90s, the success continues. Here's a 92 team, ranked 10th in the state. They were a district runner-up. You see some of the old hats that were used that particular year. As you go through, again, each of these teams you go through had a lot of success. Here's another 10th in the state of Ohio district runner-up. And then obviously we're building our way up to the best year in school history, which of course was the 1995 team. So it's their state championship. It's highlighted in a lot of different ways, a lot of cool things. Coach Medved said he made a lot of errors at second. I could see why if this was the glove, right? The comes through here. Up here on the screen, this particular game, let's see, that looks like the VA, so it must be one of the regional games. We'll also have the state championship game up here. We're also working on some audio from the great Mike Smith, where he called some of the audio of these games. So that'll be a lot of fun. All for that 95 team, remember, a lot of those guys returned in 96. So the 96 team, also really, really good, went back to the regional. We've won 5 district championships in our history. So 95 and 96 were the first 2 come through. Some of our players today probably like the bat rules that they had back then. This thing probably has a little bit more pop than what we're hitting with today with some of the new regulations. As you see, the 96 team really good. Then as you get in the late 90s, Coach Chris Medved starts to take over the program there. Keep in mind, Coach Medved, big time part of the baseball program. He was an assistant coach on the state championship team. And then he was also the head coach of that Final Four team that we highlighted back there. So we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Medved today. And I'm sure he'll be able to tell us some great stories about what Paint Valley means to him. 2000 was another opportunity to win a sectional and a district runner-up. 2001, district runner-up. That's a neat story there. I believe that's the year. I want to say that's the year that was the all-SBC district finals. Paint Valley played Zane Trace. Uniota played Adena. So to give you an idea how good the league was that year, all 4 of them made the district championship. Come down through here, obviously Drew Bob's one of the best players in school history. First team All-Ohio, 2004 grad. Then you get through here. Got an outstanding video of our 2017, the 7, 8, 9 group that overlapped and played together. Really, really good teams. Really good teams. They were a big foundation piece of really getting it going. Here's one of the real cool games in school history, the Bearcat Blizzard at the VA. The overall conditions not as bad as that made it look, but that was a fun thing to be a part of. As I said, the 07, 08, 09 group really started to grow together. 08, 09 had a lot of success. As you can see there, we come there. Got some different stat sheets as we go through as well. Now we're building our way through some rebuilding years, but had a lot of really good players here and a lot of really good kids. And they worked really hard to kind of stabilize the program and get us back on the right track. And then obviously that all comes to this point where from 2014 to 2021, that's what, an 8-year period, but 7 baseball seasons, because remember COVID of 20. As you're going to see, there's a lot of success here. The 14 district championship team leads into the 15 district championship team. The 16 seniors had an outstanding year. Unfortunately, we were upset in the sectional that year by a nice Westfall team. But still really capped off a great career even for the 16 seniors. Then the reboot happened a lot quicker here. The 17, 18 years led to the 19 sectional championship. That was a Division III, actually, sectional championship. Went on to lose to a really good Wheelersburg team in the district. And then the unfortunate loss of 2020, obviously a really special group. They were going to be really good, as you can see from some of the stuff down here. Some of these guys go on to pitch in college, McFadden and Mettler, and then we'll get to Blanton in here in a second. But the loss of the 20 season is just kind of always an empty feeling in our program. That was a really special senior group. Would have been really good. So we come down to 2001, and it was kind of the do it for the 20 group type of theme, right? We really were able to battle back, win the district championship in 21. And then Brock Blanton, who went on the pitch, East Kentucky. You can see there a video of Brock, just like Michaela did on the softball side. And then we come down through 22, 23, and then 24. And as we get to today's team, shows off our new uniforms, our new hat, and then of course, we're here to celebrate the entire history of baseball and softball, but obviously the core part of this is the 30th anniversary of our 95 state champs. So appreciate the help of all the technology, appreciate the help of our boosters and our community members. I think it's going to be a great day, but if you couldn't make it, again, we hope this gives you a little view. We'll also have a lot of different interviews today and look forward to really showcasing Paint Valley baseball and softball and the great history and the tradition. Thank you. Wanted you to know how much you mean to me, and if you look at the connection in the room, you're talking about someone who's connected to high-level baseball on the one side, really the highest level that this school's played at, and then over on this side, the highest level that softball's played at, and it's just been incredible. So, Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. I know this makes you uncomfortable, but I'm going to ask you to do it anyway. Just kind of take a minute. There's no wrong way to go with this. Just what Paint Valley means to you and what this community kind of means to you overall.
Well, and seeing all these faces around here, it just brings about a lot of great memories. That's the biggest thing in teaching and coaching is the relationships you build with these student athletes. And I bought into it, and I've been here for this is going on year 31, and it brings back a lot of great memories. We were talking the other day about when I was interviewed when we won the regional championship in softball, about how the baseball team that I coached and the softball team that I coached, how they were similar. How, I mean, you had great pitching, Coach Stauffer and Michaela. You had great catcher, Mike Cheyenne Lightfoot and Christian. We were good up the middle. Lacey Stanforth at second, Rachel Wofford, and then Aaron Riley in center. Then you had Everhart and Mettler and Todd Walker. I mean, just the similarities in the teams are just unbelievable. Coaching's really easy when you have great athletes, and that's the bottom line, you know. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of these two great teams. But like I said, 31 years at the same school, coaching all these great athletes, and having people like Shane around and everything has made it all worth it.
On this, Jason Mettler, you around here? There you are. Yeah, come on up here. Don't act like you're afraid of a microphone. Goodness. I'll have to probably take it from you here in the next half hour.
I'm usually not allowed to do PR work.
The other 95 piece, there's no way we can do without talking about Coach Gregory and what he means to the program. Again, someone very special to me at the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and guess that you probably got to know Coach Gregory pretty well on and off the field. In all seriousness, would you care to take a minute and just kind of talk about what made Coach Gregory special and the relationship you have with God?
Well, Coach with all of us was a love and hate. We all loved him and we all hated him. There was goods and bads, but he was, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't even know where to start with him. Very knowledgeable man of baseball, and he loved it. Was his life basically. He loved it, and when we won the state, the guy, it made his life. He was absolutely. I mean, it was the proudest moment of his life, and he finally got it over on Union Oda for the first time in his coaching career, and it was just a special man. So, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You had to either play for him and know him, and he would do anything for you. But I will tell one story about him. He kicked us off the field one day, and he said, Many times, but he kicked us off the field, and he said, I don't want to see you back till I tell you back, till I'll tell you to come back. So we're walking off, and in my fashion, I turned at the gate, and I said, Coach, how long do you think it's going to be? You reckon we got enough time to go to the Dairy Queen? And the dude went ballistic. So, and if you know who Weenie Head is, that's Nate Spangler. That was his nickname all the way through. So, from Coach Gregory, but yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of good things to say about him, and he gave his life to baseball, and I wish he was here today with us, and God rest his soul, and just a special guy. So that's about all I got, Coach.
Thank Mike enough for being here. You know, obviously, over the years in our playing days, it was always our dream to have Mike Smith ask us questions. I know in my playing days, it was your voice out on the driveway and making the special calls. I'm sure out of your entire career, that had to be a special call for you. So I'll kind of ask you a two-part question. Just let you say a few words, if you don't mind. You know, what do you remember about some of those calls and some of those games in that particular run? But at the same time, your connection to Adina and your connection to the entire SBC, the small communities, when you go through those special tournament runs, it's more than just the team, isn't it? It's more than it's the entire community. Maybe just talk to us about that in terms of what that means to the area, why it's so special to be a part of it, what you kind of remember about that 95 year.
Wow, that's I could go on for 2 hours talking about that team. I don't know how many of you are familiar with high school athletics in other parts of the state. When you go up into northwestern Ohio with the St. Henrys and the Minsters, and that's called, the league they're in is the MAC, M-A-A-C. And state championships are about as common as going to the bathroom for those teams up there. But down here, it's a rarity. And when you can say that you were a state champion, you can go around to every school in the SBC, include Chillicothe or Waverly or any of these schools in our area. They are few and far between. And you guys can say, you did that. You did that. A lot of teams came close, but you did that. That was just an extraordinary team. I remember that we were broadcasting the district championship at St. Trace, Paint Valley, and Unioto. Well, everybody thought that Unioto team, which Don Neff, a Hall of Fame coach, told me, like, this may be the best team I've ever coached. And Coach Neff had a number of teams that were in the state tournament. And Paint Valley beat them 3-2 in the district final. And I thought, wow, that was an upset. Well, you guys just kept upsetting everybody. I remember the regional tournament out at the VA. I can't even remember who you were playing. Wasn't it a 12-10 game? Seemed like you guys had 4 errors in the game, but you found the cover off the ball. What an offensive juggernaut that team was. And then you had a pretty good arm in Jason Stauffer. But Mr. McGuire, are you here, man? Where are you? Started the state championship game. And this is what is so neat about team sports. You, as good as an individual can be, you can't do it with one guy. And if Matt hadn't started that game and went as long as he did, you probably wouldn't have come out on top of that championship game. It took a team. It took every single individual on that squad and the coaching staff. And those are some of the things that I remember about that team. And I'm telling you, over the years of covering other high school sports in broadcast, there were a number of times that I recalled that 95 baseball team and what they accomplished. Not just because they won it, but because the way that they won it. Never giving up. The chemistry that team had. Now, the year after, that was a pretty good Paint Valley baseball team. And a lot of people expected them to maybe repeat. But that wasn't to be the case. The point that I'm trying to make there is when you get lightning in a bottle, you got to capture it. Because you never know. Injuries, a lot of other circumstances that can come along that might take away that opportunity. So this is something I know you guys have cherished over the years, and as just a fan who was able to tag along, it has been a cherished moment for me as well. What was your second question?
A small community, you kind of touched on that with
Yeah, Shane and I, we had him in the other day to promote today on Litter Media. And just how it's kind of like in the SBC, which is different, in my opinion, than any other conference. And I've had former SBC coaches in the different sports who've gone to other conferences, Larry Jordan, for example. And when he came back to Southeastern, and he'd been, of course, at Waverly, I think he was at Western after his second visit with Southeastern. But he said, Mike, it's just different. It's not the same. And we were talking about how the SBC is like a family. And one night, and I'll never forget this, we were doing a basketball game at Southeastern. And I was looking, this is when they were on the, when I say old gym, I'm not talking about the old, I'm talking about the old gym. I was looking across the other side of the gymnasium, and there were 3 brothers that were watching, but they were Southeastern graduates. But those 3 brothers were currently, at that time, living in different school districts where they had settled with their family. And maybe that's why the conference is kind of like a family, is because you may be a Paint Valley kid today, but when you get married and have a family, you may be in another school today. It's always the wives that take us away. Except in my case, I married in a deal. So that happens. And that family tie, it's like when you're playing that other team, sometimes it's like you're playing your brother or your cousin. Only it's not quite as serious as the American Civil War, but it's close sometimes. And I think that's what makes this conference so special. And I have seen it countless times when you are that last team standing and you're way down the tournament trail. You can look around in the stands and you'll see other people from the other SBC schools, and they're pulling for you. They may want to see your head on a platter when you're playing against their team. But when you're the last one standing and you're on down the road, they're your biggest fans too. Because the better you do, the better the conference does. Because you can always say, well, we got to beat that state champs. And I think you probably said that a few times in 1995. It's good to catch up with some of you guys, and God bless you. I know a lot of you have had families that have come on and played either here or at other schools, just like what we were talking about. But it's been 30 years, but it seemed like it was just yesterday to this old 65-year-old guy. Good to see you.